For centuries, people imagined unicorns as legends. But in the Arctic Ocean, a real animal carries a spiral tusk through the ice. The narwhal is not a fantasy creature. It is a whale shaped by cold water, darkness, deep dives, and a frozen world that changes with every season. The opening is quiet, because the animal belongs to a quiet place, a landscape where a single breath can be more powerful than any dramatic chase. The Arctic does not open like a tropical sea. It begins with silence, blue-white ice, dark water, slow wind, and patches of ocean breathing between frozen plates. In this place, life must wait for openings, move carefully, and use every signal the ocean gives. Narwhals live in northern waters around places such as Greenland, Canada, Svalbard, and the Russian Arctic. They are marine mammals, not fish. They breathe air, nurse their young, and spend their lives in a sea where the surface can become a ceiling of ice. At first, the animal can seem impossible. A pale whale rises through broken ice, and from its face extends a long spiral tusk. This is why people called it the unicorn of the sea. The nickname is old, but the real animal is far stranger than the myth. The tusk is not a horn. It is a tooth, usually the left upper canine, growing outward through the lip. In many males, it becomes long and obvious, but there are exceptions. Some females have tusks, some males may have more than one, and biology is rarely as simple as a legend. The spiral shape is part of the tooth's growth. As the tusk lengthens, its surface forms a gentle twist. It looks ornamental, but it is living structure, full of tiny channels and connected to the animal's body. In the Arctic, even a tooth can become a mystery. Scientists do not reduce the tusk to one simple answer. It may be involved in sensing, social display, male interactions, and communication between animals. Narwhals have been seen rubbing tusks together, and the tusk may help reveal information about the animal carrying it. That mystery is important. The tusk is famous, but the narwhal is not only a tusk with a whale attached. Its body is built for cold, thick blubber, smooth shape, strong lungs, and a life rhythm matched to ice-covered water and long seasonal migrations. Narwhals move through the Arctic in groups. They are not lonely fantasy animals drifting through empty water. They travel, breathe, dive, and surface together, often in places where humans would see only ice, fog, and a few dark openings in the sea. Sea ice can protect them, but it can also trap them. Narwhals need air, so they must find cracks, leads, and breathing holes. A frozen surface changes every movement. The whale's world is three-dimensional, but the route to air may be narrow and temporary. A wrong turn under ice is not a small mistake. It can separate a whale from the next opening where it can breathe. Under ice, vision is limited. The water can be dark, green, and shadowed. Narwhals use sound to understand that world. Like other toothed whales, they produce clicks and listen for echoes, turning sound into information about space, prey, and obstacles. Echolocation is not magic. It is biology working with physics. A click travels through water, hits a fish, ice edge, or seafloor feature, and returns as an echo. In a place where light fades, sound can become a map. Narwhals are deep divers. They can leave the bright surface behind and descend into cold, dark water to feed. Their prey can include fish, squid, and deep water animals. The dive is not dramatic for drama's sake. It is how food is found in an Arctic ocean. A deep dive demands control. The whale must manage oxygen, pressure, and time. Every movement costs energy. The calm shape at the surface hides a body capable of traveling far below, then returning to the exact place where air is available. The tusk does not catch fish like a spear in some cartoon. Narwhals feed with the adaptations of toothed whales, using movement, suction, and sensory skill. The tusk may be socially important, but feeding is part of a much larger survival system. Blubber is one of the most important parts of that system. It stores energy and helps keep heat inside the body. In water that can be near freezing, warmth is not comfort. It is survival, especially when the animal must dive and travel for long periods. Narwhals also live with seasonal change. In summer, open water may spread. In winter, ice returns. Their roots, breathing places, and feeding areas are linked to the timing and shape of ice. The Arctic is not still. It moves, cracks, freezes, and melts. Social life helps in this changing world. Groups can move along ice edges, gather in bays, and travel through leads. They may be quiet to our eyes, but their lives are full of sound, orientation, and contact hidden beneath the surface. The tusk may play into that social world. Males can line up, cross tusks, rub them, or display them. Scientists continue to study what these behaviors mean. The honest answer is not one word. It may be a mixture of sensing, signaling, display, and competition. The tusk may carry information about age, health, strength, or social position, but researchers are careful because behavior in the wild is difficult to observe for long periods. Because the tusk looks so dramatic, humans once turned it into legend. Long before people understood narwhals, tusks traveled through trade routes as opposed to unicorn horns. They were rare, beautiful, and mysterious, and human imagination filled the gaps. The scientific story is better. A unicorn horn is fantasy. A tooth that grows through a whale's lip, spirals for years, and may carry sensory information is real. Nature does not need to invent magic when evolution can produce something this strange. Narwhals share the Arctic with predators. Orcas can hunt them in open water, and polar bears may wait near breathing holes. This does not need to be shown as violence. It simply reminds us that the Arctic is a living system where every animal has risks. Sea ice can give narwhals refuge from some threats, but when ice retreats, open water can change where predators travel and where humans can move ships. What protects one season may disappear in another. The shape of the frozen ocean matters. Shipping noise is another challenge. Narwhals depend on sound, and sound travels far underwater. Engines, propellers, and industrial activity can add noise to a place where listening is survival. For an animal that navigates by echoes, quiet water has value. Even distant vessels can matter, because underwater sound does not behave like sound in air. It can spread through the sea and overlap with the signals animals need. Arctic warming does not only mean warmer air. It can change ice timing, prey distribution, migration routes, and human access. Narwhals are adapted to a frozen world, and rapid change can force animals to solve problems faster than evolution usually works. This is why the narwhal is more than a symbol. It is a test of how well we understand animals that live far from cities and cameras. A creature can be famous, printed in books and stories, and still remain difficult to study in its real home. Researchers learn from tags, aerial surveys, acoustic recordings, local knowledge, and rare observations. Each method gives only part of the picture. A narwhal can vanish under ice in seconds, carrying its story into water where people cannot easily follow. The Arctic itself helps create this mystery. Darkness, ice, distance, and cold make ordinary observations difficult. Animals here are not designed for human convenience. They are designed for survival in a place where the surface may close above them. When a narwhal surfaces, the moment is brief. A back appears. A breath rises. A tusk tilts above the water. Then the animal is gone again, leaving only ripples and ice. That short glimpse is part of why the species feels almost legendary. But legends are made by humans. The narwhal is not trying to be mythical. It is breathing, diving, feeding, listening, traveling, and raising young in one of Earth's most demanding oceans. Its beauty comes from function, not decoration. The spiral tusk draws our eyes, but the quiet body beneath it tells the deeper story. Blubber holds heat. Lungs support dives. Sound draws maps in darkness. Social groups move through ice. The whole animal is an Arctic design, not a single strange feature. Young narwhals are born into this world of cold water and moving ice. Their future depends on more than the tusk. It depends on stable feeding grounds, safe travel routes, manageable noise, and the seasonal ice patterns their species has followed for generations. The narwhal also shows why mystery should not be treated as ignorance. Scientists can know a great deal and still admit that some questions remain open. The tusk's full role is still studied, and that uncertainty makes the animal more interesting, not less. That is why uncertainty should be treated honestly. A mystery is not a failure of science. It is often the beginning of better observation. A simple answer would be easy. The tusk is only for fighting, or only for sensing, or only for display. But nature often builds features with layered uses. The narwhal asks us to accept a better answer. Several possibilities, tested slowly in a difficult ocean. In the dark water, sound pulses outward. In the ice above, openings shift. In the distance, a group moves together like shadows beneath glass. The Arctic does not make survival easy, but it makes animals unlike anything found in warmer seas. Even the color of the narwhal fits the north. Young animals are darker, and adults become mottled with pale gray and white. Against broken ice and cold water, the body seems to belong to the landscape, as if the whale borrowed its pattern from the Arctic itself. The story of the narwhal is therefore not just a story about a tooth. It is about a whale that lives where air is hard to reach, light is limited, sound is essential, food may be deep, and the world overhead is made of ice. When the Arctic changes, every part of that story can change with it. Less sea ice can alter access, predator movement, human activity, and the soundscape. Conservation is not only about saving a beautiful animal, it is about keeping the system that made it possible. The point is not politics. The point is ecology. An animal adapted to ice is affected when ice, sound, food, and travel routes change together. The narwhal's mystery should make us careful. Famous animals can become symbols, but symbols can flatten reality. The real narwhal is quieter, colder, harder to see, and more complex than any unicorn story ever was. Return to the ice. The wind slows. The water darkens. Somewhere below, clicks travel through the black-blue sea. A whale rises, breathes once, and lowers again beneath the surface, carrying a spiral tooth through a world of pressure, silence, and frozen light. People created legends because the tusk felt impossible. But the Arctic creates animals that really are almost impossible. The narwhal is one of them. Not a fantasy, not a joke, but a living answer to cold, darkness, ice, distance, and time. In the end, the narwhal is more interesting than the myth. A unicorn is only an idea. A narwhal is a breathing whale, a deep diver, a listener in dark water, and a reminder that the real ocean still holds forms of life that feel like legends. What seems magical from the surface becomes even more impressive when it is understood as biology, pressure, cold, and sound working together. The final image is not a monster or a miracle. It is a whale under ice, moving calmly through blue darkness. The tusk shines for a moment, then disappears. The legend ends, but the animal continues, real and fragile in a changing Arctic. That is the quiet power of the narwhal. It looks mythical because its home is extreme. It survives because every part of it belongs to that home. And as the frozen world changes, the unicorn of the sea becomes a symbol of what the Arctic still has to teach us.